Hello fellow film friends, my name is Isaac Ward and welcome to Film Fortress. Here at Film Fortress we discuss the latest films and whether they are worth your time and your money. Today we will be discussing Jungle Cruise, which is based upon the Disney amusement park ride. To start, I will give you my non-spoiler thoughts and my rating. Then I'll delve into spoilers later in the video. Feel free to skip past the spoiler section by using the timestamps in the description of the video. Then you can access my phrase for my next review. Does Jungle Cruise cruise in the right direction, or should you be a skipper and skip out on this one? Let's find out. Jungle Cruise was released in theaters on July 24th, 2021, and it was directed by Jean Collet-Serra. Some of Collet-Serra's previous work includes The Shallows in 2016, Unknown in 2011, and The House of Wax in 2005, amongst other films. So the adventure and family aspect of this film is definitely a departure from the usual genres that he works on. But Disney, once again, has released a film that has a talented cast and a unique vision. So let's talk about the cast and the characters. This film revolves around Frank, played by Dwayne Johnson, Lily, played by Emily Blunt, and McGregor, played by Jack Whitehall. They are searching for a prized possession that is of interest to several different parties. Once they start their expedition, we are thrown right into the Amazon rainforest, and we get to see the dangers that they encounter left and right. Frank plays an important role for McGregor and Lily throughout the journey. Lily has a strong determination to reach their goal, but Frank is very apprehensive about the journey, so this can cause some problems. I loved how these two opposing characters shared a common goal, and I really feared for their safety. However, Lily and Frank are portraying characters that we have seen before. Lily definitely reminds me of Indiana Jones, while Frank reminds me of Jack Sparrow. However, they both have great charisma, and they bring some great acting to this film. They also have great chemistry throughout the film. Our third character, McGregor, is the unlikely hero that you wouldn't expect to be on this expedition. However, he is eventually roped into it. He is used as a vehicle for the audience because he's a character that is unaware of the supernatural threats that lurk in the Amazon. He also carries the most jokes in the film, and he has an interesting backstory that was really different for a Disney film. I'll talk about plot twists and character backstories more in spoilers. Now, let's talk about the villains. We have two different forces of conflict in this film. We have Germany, led by Prince Joachim, played by Jesse Plemons. Germans trying to stop adventurers from a supernatural object? Sounds familiar. Anyways, there are some good action sequences with Plemons trying to blow up their boat with his submarine. It was shown in most of the advertisements for this film, so I wouldn't consider it a spoiler. Our heroes also encounter three monsters led by Edgar Ramirez. The CGI for them was really cringy at times, but it didn't completely take me out of the film. I can't give much away about them, but they certainly were intimidating and creepy. Overall, I felt like the villains were creepy, and they did give this film some weight. Also, I had fun watching the cast of Jungle Cruise, even if their characters resembled something we've seen before. Finally, let's talk about the pacing and tone. I thought this film was packed with action, adventure, and plenty of heart, so I thought that the pacing was pretty good. It's a little too long towards the end of the film, but I understood why they needed to wrap all of the character arcs. It definitely maintained an adventurous tone throughout the film, so it delivered on its premise. I do feel like the film was lacking originality though. If you've ever seen any other adventure films, you'll probably see similar patterns in Jungle Cruise. Let's give it a rating. I really enjoyed the characters, tone, and the villains of this film. There were also some surprising twists and turns throughout the movie. However, there is a noticeable lack of originality. I would recommend this film if you want a familiar but fun action flick with some charismatic characters. I'm going to give Jungle Cruise a 7 out of 10. Feel free to stay for spoilers or go out and see this film if you're interested. Spoilers for Jungle Cruise from here on out. So Frank and Lily are looking for something known as the Tears of the Moon. It is located on a tree in the heart of the Amazon rainforest. The petals could revitalize medicine and change the outcome of World War I. Lily has an arrowhead that is the key to finding the tree. This convinces Frank to take her on a voyage with McGregor. Again, the arrowhead is very similar to the map to Hamunaptra from The Mummy. So the concept isn't original. Our characters fight off Jesse Plemons, who also wants the Tears of the Moon, and the three monsters that I mentioned earlier. One monster has mud qualities, another can control bugs, and the third monster, played by Edgar Ramirez, can control snakes. They are Spanish conquerors that were cursed when looking for the Tears of the Moon in the past. They encountered some villagers and they demanded the location of the tree. However, the tribe villagers refused. So the conquerors ended up burning their village and they were cursed by the chief of the tribe. They then could never leave sight of the river or die. It's revealed that Frank's real name is Francisco, and he was part of the conquerors back in the day. Francisco ended up helping the villagers instead of burning down the village, and he trapped the remaining conquerors in a cave where they would remain for eternity. So Frank is looking for the Tears of the Moon because he wants to lift his own curse. However, he's never been able to because he has never had access to the arrowhead until now. We learn all of this after Frank is impaled with a sword, but survives. He's actually 400 years old, and he can't die. So the plot definitely has a unique twist. McGregor reveals to Frank that he is with Lily because his romantic interests lie elsewhere. I thought that this was a great move by Disney because we need more representation in our films nowadays. So I admire this film for having the courage to do that. In the third act, we are given a satisfactory conclusion because we think that Frank has turned to stone. However, Lily uses the Tears of the Moon petal on him and he ends up surviving. So Lily and Frank end up staying together and they ride through the streets of London together. Overall, I really enjoyed this film and the ambition that it brings to the big screen. Thanks for visiting the Film Fortress today. What's your favorite Disney film? Please let me know in the comments section down below. Finally, for more reviews coming soon, please hit the subscribe button down below. The phrase for my next review is expendable. Finally, remember that your opinions matter and deserve to be valued. See you next time.